work. There's no solution. Okay, let's take a look at another example. I have x over x squared minus 9 minus 3 over x minus 3 is equal to 1 over x plus 3. So these are rational expressions. We have these fractions. First step is find my least common denominator. Well, I'm going to factor this first, and this factors out to be x plus 3 times x minus 3. So if I look for my least common denominator, it actually is x minus 3 times x plus 3. So I'm going to take that's my least common denominator. So I'm going to take the x minus 3 times x plus 3 and multiply it to each piece of this equation. Because I multiply it to one side, multiply it to the other side, I would be using the distributive property here. So x minus 3 times x plus 3 times this minus x minus 3 times x plus 3 times that equals x minus 3 times x plus 3 times this. And when I do that, what I see here is that the x minus 3's canceled out and the x plus 3's canceled out, so I was left with x. Here I see the x minus 3's canceled out, so I'm left with 3 times x plus 3. And here the x plus 3's canceled out, so I'm left with 1 times x minus 3. So I now do not have fractions any longer because I multiplied by the least common denominator. I'm going to need to use distributive property. I notice this is a negative 3, so all of the negative 3 gets distributed. So I have x minus 3x minus 9 is equal to x minus 3. This is a linear equation, so I'm going to combine like terms and solve and get all my x's on one side and the numbers on the other side. So this became minus 2x minus 9 equals x minus 3. Move my x over here, so I have minus 3x equals 6. Divide both sides by a negative 3, and I get x equals negative 2. So here we have another example. A plus 4 over a squared plus 5a equals negative 2 over a squared minus 25. So first step, I'm going to factor. So I can factor out an a from here, and I'm left with a times a plus 5. And here that's the difference of squares, so it factors to a plus 5, a minus 5. So my least common denominator is a times a plus 5 times a minus 5. So now I can multiply both sides of my equation by the least common denominator. So a times a plus 5 times a minus 5 is my least common denominator. Multiply it to this side, and what I notice is that my a's and my a minus 5's will cancel, and I'll be left with a minus 5, a plus 4 on the left-hand side. And here when I multiply my least common denominator times that rational expression, I get negative 2 over a plus 5, a minus 5, and the a plus 5 and a minus 5 will cancel out, and I'm left with negative 2a. So when I multiplied by my least common denominator, I got rid of my fraction. Well, now what I'm going to have to do is FOIL here. So I FOIL, and I get a squared plus 4a minus 5a minus 20 equals negative 2a. And then I went ahead and I combined like terms, and because it is a quadratic equation, it has a squared in it, I need to set my equation equal to 0. So I went ahead and set my equation equal to 0, and I combined my like terms. I'm going to go ahead and factor this. When I factor it, I then use the zero product property and set each of these equal to 0. And when I set each of those equal to 0 and solve, I get a equals negative 5 or a equals 4. But I noticed back in my original equation that a equals negative 5 makes the denominator equal to 0. So my only solution will be a equals 4.